A very happy evening to one and all present here. The meeting is called to order. And over the moon smile is the finest welcome one can render. In order to give such a warm welcome, may I now request the President of MMBA, Advocate Mr. Srinivasa Raghavan, to give the welcome address.
Vanakkam. Happy evening to one and all. I am happy to be here in the august presence of the gathering here for two occasions which are mainly very important for us. First being the Quin Decennial lecture series which we have been conducting for the past 5 years, commemorating the 15th to 19th anniversary of MMBA. We are going to complete 19 next year. So this is one of the lectures we are arranging today, commemorating the quindecennial year of the MMBA. Secondly, we have the pleasure of Honorable Chief Justice of Madras High Court here as the chief guest. So this is a momentous occasion for us. So on this occasion, on behalf of MMBA, I wholeheartedly welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Vijakumar Gangapurwala, CJ of Madras High Court to this function. I also welcome our own beloved former General Secretary, currently Administrative Judge of Madurai Bench, Honorable S.S. Sundar to this occasion. I welcome all the companion judges of Madurai Bench, Madras High Court, additional Advocate Generals who are present here, all the law officers of the Government of India and the state government, President and Secretaries of the friendly bar associations, my dear beloved young advocates, members of the bar and the registry. By citing the book Studying Law by Vanderbilt, saying that be proud of your profession, our profession, and by your life, cause others to be proud of it. So it is high time we just reiterate the principles our forefathers, ancestors left a solid imprint by conducting themselves in the bar and the bench. So we are now here to just remember the professional ethics in the amidst of the new generation lawyers. And I remember the early morning prayer of Mahatma Gandhi in his daily life that he says, "Oh God, enable me in taking the first step in the right direction so that the rest will follow." So if you are starting the direction rightly in the first step, everything will be perfectly all right. I just want to remind myself also. And there is a famous slogan in Sanskrit which reads, "Satyam briyat, priyam briyat, na briyat satyam apriyam, priyam cha nantrutam briyat, isha dharma sanatana." It means in English, speak the truth, speak pleasantly. Do not speak the truth in an unpleasant manner. Even if pleasant, do not speak untruth. That is the path of eternal righteousness. So with these guidelines in our own jurisprudence and country, let us cherish the guided principles of ethics, especially in the profession of law. And to conclude, I just say that in your dealings in and outside the court, you should always bear in mind that every member of the bar is a trustee for the honor and prestige of the profession as a whole. So we just cherish this moment, and none could be the most befitting guest speaker of the day except our honorable chief guest. And once again, I feel proud in inviting him to this occasion, and I invite one and all once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Acts of honor come from honor written upon the heart. May I now request the Administrative Judge of Madurai Bench of Madras High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice S.S. Sundar, to honor the Chief Justice of Madras High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Vijakumar Gangapurwala, on behalf of the bench and bar of the Madurai Bench of Madras High Court, with a memento. Thank you, Lordships. May I now request the President of MMBA, Mr. Srinivasa Raghavan, to honor the Chief Justice of Madras High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Vijakumar Gangapurwala, with a memento. Thank you, Lordship. Thank you, sir. May I now request the General Secretary of MMBA, Mr. Ayiram K. Selvakumar, to honor the Chief Justice of Madras High Court with a memento. Thank you, Lordship. Thank you, sir. May I now request the Vice President of MMBA, Mr. Alagaram Jodi, to honor the Administrative Judge of Madurai Bench of Madras High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice S.S. Sundar, with a memento. May I now request the President and General Secretary of MBHCAA to honor the Chief Justice of Madras High Court with a memento. President of MBHCAA, Mr. Andiraj. General Secretary, Mr. Anbarasu. Thank you, Lordship. Thank you, sir. In order to commemorate the academic activities, MMBA has organized the Decennial lecture series on the completion of its 10th year. When the MMBA has reached its 15th year, the Decennial lecture series has become Quin Decennial lecture series. From then, MMBA has arranged many lectures with the prestigious resource persons. Today, we take pleasure in inviting our Chief Justice as a chief guest, Chief Justice of Madras High Court, Hon'ble Mr. Justice Sanjay Vijakumar Gangapurwala, to astound us with his rich experience on the topic professional ethics. For this, may I now request our Chief Guest and our Honorable Chief Justice of Madras High Court to deliver the lecture on today's topic.
Malai Vanakam. Brother Justice S.S. Sundar, Mr. Srinivasan, the President of the Bar, Mr. Selvakumar, the Secretary, my sister and brother judges, the senior members of the Bar, and the young members of the Bar. In fact, the Bar itself is young. It is hardly 19-year-old. And it is always a pleasure to be amongst the youngsters. It is said that young ones survive on dreams, and not so young, I refuse to call myself old, so not so young, survive on past memories. And when I say that young ones survive on dreams, just remember what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has said, whose portrait is here. He has said that the dreams are not those that you see in sleep. Dreams are those which do not allow you to sleep. Friends, the topic for today's discussion, professional ethics. In fact, professional ethics you would learn more by watching your seniors, day in and day out. Well, whatever I am speaking here is for the young lawyers, the junior lawyers sitting at the back there. In lighter vein, I always say seniors like me are incorrigible. So whatever it is said for the junior lawyers. Friends, it is said that the legal profession is one of the most noble profession. It is one of the most dynamic profession. Because law is a changing concept, it changes with the changing times, changing circumstances, changing environment. And it is with the changing circumstances, the course of law is changed, and the one responsible for it is the lawyers here. So you will have to get abreast with the changing world, the changing circumstances. Just imagine, what was immoral 50 years back may not be immoral today. What was a good law 50 years back may not be good law today. What is opposed to public policy in an urban society may not be so in a rural society, may not be so in a tribal society. So you have to mold the law, and the lawyers are the one who are the most important stakeholders in that. That's why when we say the law is dynamic, law is ever changing. So you as young lawyers will have to keep pace with the changing times, and will have to expand the horizon of your thinking as to how would you mold the law for the betterment of the society. Once, a lady visited Lord Thurlow and asked her whether he would advise her son to become a lawyer. Lord Thurlow replied, "Madam, is your son ready to work like a horse and live like a hermit? Then only advise your son to become a lawyer." So the same thing applies to all of you, my young lawyers, that if you are ready to work like a horse and live like a hermit, then only continue this profession. Otherwise, there are many other glamorous avocations, you can choose any one of them. So precisely what is required is you have to work like a horse and live like a hermit. Meaning thereby that it does not mean that you should not earn from the profession. At the same time, you should be alive to the need of the society, to the need of the persons from the oppressed, suppressed and depressed class of the society. So, you have to do some pro bono work also. Remember, a rich man would pay and a poor man would pray for you. It is the prayers of the poor man which will take you much forward. It is said that an advocate is a badge of honor and patent of trustworthiness, not merely as an agent of the client, but also as an officer of the court. So, as an advocate, you have a duty towards your client, towards your opponent, and towards the court. Of course, you have a duty towards your client to fight the case on behalf of your client with all your talent. At the same time, you have duty towards your opponent also. You cannot be unfair to the opponent. And most importantly, you have duty towards the court. The court and the administration of justice, these are the two things for which the advocates owes the supreme responsibility. You cannot be unfair to the court. When we say that you have to be fair to the court, you have to put forth the facts correctly before the court and not misguide the court. The law, you have to assist the court. Never cite an overruled judgment before the court, because that would not be fairness. It is your conduct before the court which is really very material, which would count a lot. You are required to be submissive to the court. Advocacy is how well you take along with you the court. The court may be against you. That does not mean that you will be militant. If the court is against you, it is your responsibility to see how you navigate your arguments and take the court along with you. And that is what advocacy is. In the most tough cases, your talent would come out. That is only if you work hard, only if you study your brief properly. Remember, best of the sailors are made in rough seas. How good a sailor is, that we will know only if the sea is rough. So, it is only in tough cases your talent, your advocacy would come out, would be noticed. Nani Palkiola in his book has said, 90% cases win or lose on themselves. 4 are won by advocacy, 6 are lost by advocacy. So you have to be very careful while you represent yourself before the court. After all, the courts are manned by human beings. You have to respect the court. When you respect the court, you don't respect the person sitting there, you respect the chair. You may not like a particular judge, but then that does not give a right to disrespect him, because you are respecting the chair that is there. A judge occupies that chair, and it is by virtue of that chair you have to respect the judge. These are the basic things which you have to follow. The court hall is full. If a senior lawyer walks in, you have to give chair to him. That is the minimum courtesy you have to show to your seniors. You have to respect your seniors there. That is a part of the professional ethics. The professional ethics are nothing but what you should do and what you should not do. It's a do's and don'ts for a lawyer. Then when you appear before the court, you have to be properly dressed. You cannot be shabbily dressed. The Advocates Act has laid down the attire for you. You have to be in a proper attire. You have to be well dressed. If you are not properly dressed, if you are shabbily dressed, that also would be disrespect to the court, which you cannot afford. Your conduct has to be dignified. You have to represent yourself in a dignified manner. You cannot take cudgels with your opponent lawyer. Remember, you always call your opponent lawyer as your learned friend. It is not an empty formality. It is for a reason. So when you represent your case, you have to respect your opponent lawyer also. You may not agree with his views, with his proposition of law. You can answer that to the court. Never fight amongst yourself. That will show you in a bad light. Be brief. It is said that hate less, love more. Eat less, chew more. Wine less, breathe more. Speak less, say more. And all good things in the world will be yours. For an advocate, the last one, speak less, say more. In few words, you should be in a position to communicate much more. And that is the hallmark of a good lawyer. So whenever you prepare for, and if you have mastered your facts and mastered your law, you would be in a position to communicate much more in few words. That's why we always say the pleading should be concise and precise. It should not be verbose. So whenever you argue the matter, try to be brief. Many times it happens that when you go for lengthy pleadings, you contradict yourself. So that should be avoided. So be brief. Experience is one thing which you will always have to respect. You may be a young lawyer may be very intelligent, but he may be very knowledgeable, but that would not replace a wisdom. There is a saying that greatest wealth is wisdom. The strongest weapon is patience. The most effective tonic is laughter. And the biggest security, the greatest security is faith. Now, when we say the greatest wealth is wisdom, how it would be different from knowledge? Knowledge is one thing, wisdom is another. Wisdom is what your seniors would have. You may have a knowledge, you may have come first class first in your examination, but wisdom is something else. With knowledge you may tackle a problem. With wisdom, you may avoid a problem. I'll just give an example, which I normally give. A murder trial was going on. There were two accused. One was represented by a senior lawyer. Accused number 2 was represented by a young lawyer who has just joined the bar. The facts were that in the midnight, a lady from her balcony had seen the accused persons murdering the victim. It was midnight. So the trial started after about a year. The lady was in the witness box, the eyewitness. The senior lawyer saw the lady wearing thick glasses. So he asked the lady to take off the glasses. He went 25 feet behind and asked the lady, "Can you see me properly?" The lady said no. He came 5 feet forward and asked, now whether you can see me. She said, no, I cannot recognize you. Again came 5 feet forward at a distance of 15 feet and said, can you recognize me? No. He put an end to the cross-examination. And he told the young junior lawyer that now you please don't cross-examine. The junior lawyer was enthusiastic. He had come first class first in the examination, law examination. He said, no, I am going to cross-examine. He stood up for cross-examination and he asked the question, Madam, since how long you are wearing these glasses? She said, just 6 months back I had met with an accident, I had an eye injury, and since then I am doing that. The whole cross-examination of the senior lawyer was washed out. So that's why it is said the greatest wealth is wisdom, not the knowledge only. Knowledge is necessary, but couple it with experience, wisdom, and so always follow the advice of your seniors. Always respect your seniors because they are rich in experience, they are rich in wisdom. The strongest weapon is patience. Have patience in this profession. In the starting phase of your career, you may not earn much money. But then you have to have patience. My senior used to tell me that first 10 years of practice, only hard work, no money. Next 10 years of practice, money and hard work both would be there. And latter 10 years of practice, you can only earn money without hard work. So have patience in the profession. It is said in cricket, stick to the wickets, runs will follow. Similarly, stick to your profession. You work with all sincerity, honesty and integrity, the work would follow, you will earn the money. You would see many senior lawyers earning a fortune from this profession. But what you have to also see is the hard work and industry that they have put in, the midnight oil that they have burned. So with patience, with hard work, honesty and importantly integrity, you will reach the zenith. Then the most effective tonic is laughter. The work which you are doing or the judges are doing, they are stressful. You have to work hard. There cannot be a go from that. Whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a judge, you have to work hard. So there has to be some stress buster. The laughter is the best tonic. Devote time to your family. Don't ignore your family. Take the blessings of your elders. Continue with your hobbies also. Because if you're only going to work without continuing with your hobbies, you would be leading a stressful life, which you will only be affecting your health. So, have time for yourself also and your family also. And the greatest security is faith. Have faith in the system. Have faith in the court which you are appearing for. And have faith in yourself. Have faith in your capability. Have faith in your capacity to do well. So, that is the greatest security. Having faith in yourself, having faith in your system is the greatest security. So, have all these things. So, if you continue with this, that hard work, honesty, integrity, then you would go long places in the profession. This bar, this is a part of the Madras High Court. It's a bench of the Madras High Court. Look to the peers there. It has got a rich tradition and history of high standards of moral and professional ethics. Follow them. Don't divorce yourself from the great traditions put let down by your colleagues, by your peers. This is an institution, this is the bar. You are a product of the Madras High Court bar. This bar has produced the Chief Justices of India, the Supreme Court judges, the Chief Justice of High Court, the High Court judges, the senior advocates, and many legal luminaries who have contributed immensely to this institution. And I hope and trust the junior members of the bar would carry forward the legacy. And I'm sure and I'm confident that you would do that. So I wish you all the very best in the profession. You follow the highest standards of professional ethics demanded by you, and the success will be yours. Thank you. Thanking you very much.
Thank you, Lordship. Your Lordship has imparted the wisdom with laughter and lovable way. Now it's time for interactions. If any of you want to ask any questions, you can ask to the Lordship.
Talk about the relationship between the judge and the lawyer.
As far as the relationship between the judge and the lawyer is concerned, it has to be courteous, cordial, and that of confidence. The lawyer and judge are known to be two wheels of the chariot of justice. So both have an equal stake, both should have confidence in each other, and the relation has to be courteous between the bar and the bench.
Etiquette and ethics, difference and similarities.
They overlap with each other. They are the two words of the same coin. Just as you may not find much difference between compensation and damages, they are more of a technical in nature. Practically, they would mean the same thing.
My Lords, I have a question. My Lords, how do we balance between our duty towards our clients and our duty towards the court? How do we really balance that? It's a very Lakshman Rekha.
There should not be any problem in doing it. Duty towards the court is different than the duty towards the client. Before the court, you have to be fair in representing your facts, which are there on record. Duty to the client is that you have to maintain the privilege. Communication, really privilege, not to divulge that. And to the best of your ability, put forth the case of your client. Remember, it is said that if you lose your case, you don't lose your client. If you lose your client, you don't lose your judge. Even if you lose your judge, you don't lose your conscience. That is what you have to follow.
Thank you.
7 lamps of advocacy. The great second. While in our syllabus we gone through with 7 lamps of advocacy, in which we seen that WIT. What does it mean? WIT. 7 lamps of advocacy.
WIT, W-I-T. Well, WIT is the how would you tackle the court which is against you. It is by your wit only you are going to tackle the court. Well, certainly, it can be.
Lordships, good evening. What is the professional ethics that one should follow in a law office amongst the colleagues of him or her in a law office? What's the professional ethics that it has to be followed?
Towards whom? Professional ethics towards whom?
In the office.
Amongst your colleagues.
Colleagues as seniors and the clients as well. Because most of the time that apart from the court we spend more of time in office. So what is the basic thing that we have
The relation between the senior and junior.
Senior, junior, colleagues, clerks. Even that has a very big impact.
That would be the difference between the etiquettes and ethics that has been said by the learned additional advocate general. In your own office, I don't know what is the arrangement between the colleagues, the senior. Is there any agreement of payment of fees or anything like that? But then, relationship of a client with a lawyer and a senior and the colleagues inter se is a relationship ubirimi fides. That is of active confidence, of active trust. You have to maintain that.
Thank you, Lordship. May I now request the President and Secretary of WAA to honor our Chief Guest, Chief Justice of Madras High Court, with a memento. Madam Anandavalli, President of WA and Secretary Krishnavedi. May I now request the President and Secretary of MBA to honor the Chief Justice of Madras High Court with a memento. President M.K. Suresh and Secretary Mr. Venkatesa. Thank you, Lordship. Thank you, sir. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. May I now request the General Secretary of MMBA, Mr. Airam K. Selvakumar, to propose the thanks note.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். It gives me immense pleasure and a great privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion of MMBA Quin Decennial lecture series, lecture delivered by the Honorable Chief Justice of Madras High Court on the topic professional ethics. Being a holder of a little experience, I am not in a position to appreciate the illuminating speech of Honorable Chief Justice. However, I would like to cite the Tirukural, which is relevant to the topic. Vayathul வாழ்வாங்கு வாழ்பவன் வானுரையும் தெய்வத்துள் வைக்கப்படும். That means, Lordship, he who pursues the virtues, etiquette and the all sort of ethics in life on earth would be placed on gods in heaven. The impeccable speech rendered by the Honorable Chief Justice would definitely would give a proper guidelines to the legal fraternity. So on behalf of MMBA, I wholeheartedly thank the Honorable Chief Justice of Madras High Court and Administrative Chief of our Madurai bench, Mr. Sundar J, who from the moment onwards, concern given by the Honorable CJ, he was so keen on the arrangements as well as he was guiding us in a proper way. So on behalf of MMBA, my sincere thanks to our Honorable Admin Chief. And our sincere thanks to the Honorable Judges, Mr. Justice G.R. Swaminathan, Mr. Justice Bhattu Devanand, Mr. Justice P. Vadamalai, Mr. Justice B. Dhanabal, Mr. Justice C. Kumarappan, Mrs. Justice L. Victoria Gowri, and Additional Advocate General Mr. Veera Gediraman, Additional Advocate General Mr. Bhaskaran, Senior Advocate Mr. S. Meena Sundaram, Senior Advocate Mr. T.S.R. Venkatramana, Senior Advocate and founder member of the MMBA Mr. Isaac Mohanlal, and Senior Advocate Mr. Balasundaram, and Law Officer Mr. Kannan, Law Commission member Mr. Karnanidhi, and former law officers Mr. Shanmugasalav and Mr. Harold Singh, and a member of BHA Board President Mr. Andiraj, Secretary Mr. Anbarasan, Madurai Bar Association MBA President Mr. M.K. Suresh Kumar, Secretary Mr. Venkatesh, Women Advocate Association President Ms. Anandavalli, Mrs. Krishnavedi, and Registrar General and Registrar Admin and Registrar Judicial and Press and Media and Campier Mr. Parthiban, and those who are all present here, my sincere thanks to all the bar members, and all those who are all present here, my sincere thanks. Crown it all, the Almighty.
With the permission of the chair, let me thank the one who thanked everyone. Thank you so much, sir.